How does it feel after all these years to still have this much love for the franchise and for what you did for the characters?
It's great. I mean, I think Naruto's got one of the best fan bases out there. What we found is that during pandemic, because there's 900 and, like, if you add in Boruto and everything, there's some 950 episodes.
Something like
and
that.
I think getting new people to watch it was kind of a problem at a certain point, and then pandemic came. So everybody had months and months where we were locked up, didn't do anything, and they said, hey, maybe we could make the time now to watch all these episodes. And so since that point, we've gotten a whole new, because the kids that grew up with it showed it to their kids, and we got grandparents, parents, and kids that are now into this show because we've been running for 20 some years. We're on a break right now, but then Boruto Blue Vortex is coming back. At least that's what I've been told. So, it's news to, well,
I mean,
they tell you a lot of things.
Audience enthusiasm for the Boruto show, at least in America, was great.
Yeah, tepid. Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
But supposedly they're going to animate it, which means they'll throw us 50 cents to do the voices.
Woohoo!
2 whole episodes, you can get a soda. Well, no, not anymore, you can't, no.
Exactly.
A can of soda?
So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. You know, we've been doing this show for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years, and it's still got fans, and they're coming to things like this to see us, which is like coming to see us. But
Dressing up as your
really
characters, dressing up as your characters too.
What was that?
Dressing up as your characters and everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, the crazy thing is, when we started recording this, it was so hard to find it, period. If you didn't have Toonami and if you didn't have a couple different things, you couldn't see it. So I'd never really gotten a chance to meet fans. Like, I didn't know there were fans. I really didn't until maybe, like, I think the first con was in New York right after the pandemic. And I was just like, what? People watch this? And the pandemic absolutely had a lot to do with it. Generationally,
Yeah, it's weird to thank a pandemic, but it really did boost the interest in the show.
Yeah.
Everybody was home on their butts watching.
Yeah, no, I do a bunch of these things. And it's funny that you guys talk about the pandemic thing, because I was like, I had, pictures and stuff of Choji out there and stuff, and invariably people would walk by and go, and they'd keep going. And just in the last couple of years, I've noticed this real incredible uptick in the amount of people that are like, oh, I love that show.
Well, Doug and I have been talking you up, Robbie. So that's
Yes, we have.
Not just a Ninja Turtle, he's also Choji.
You don't know me very well, or else you'd be like, that guy is such a douche.
Well, we did have one con. It was in Florida, where we got the whole team together. We had Colleen there too, but she couldn't make it here because I think she's in London or something.
Yeah, I think it's for the Sonic premiere.
Right. So,
She's like a full-on movie star. She's with Jim Carrey this week.
She actually used anime as a springboard to bigger and better things.
Right. And we've never been able to do that.
I haven't been able to nail that one, no.
I'm going back.
I'm working in reverse.
But we are glad to be here because if we didn't have you guys, we wouldn't have jobs. So thank you for being there throughout all these years, and thanks for coming on board even during the pandemic and thereafter.
Y'all can make some noise for that. That's cool because it's great to have
You guys are the reason we're here. Thank you so much, really.
So as a fan, I can confidently say each of your characters had a moment that I was like, man, that was heavy. Well, was it like that for you recording it, or when because I know you probably get attached to the characters a little bit as you're recording. Were there moments like that for you where you're really attached and it's like, wow, that really hit hard?
I had the opposite happen. Not exactly the opposite, but as it goes, if you're not familiar with the manga as a voice actor, you don't really know what's to come. So one day I was going in for a session. I had a friend in town from Michigan, and where I'm originally from, and I said, hey, you want to sit in on the session? He's like, yeah, sure. So we go to the studio, and I walk to the door, and I'm greeted by the sound engineer, and she's like, you die today. And I'm like, what?
Spoiler alert.
That never happened. look right into this. But so anyway, so I was caught very off guard. And I wish I'd have had more time to prepare for it. You never really get to prepare it unless you know what the script is going to be. But had I known the manga, I think I would have been able to probably give it a little bit more gravity.
Right.
But it was pretty intense. I was like,
I
died.
I was actually going to say, wait, more gravity? You was giving that more gravity?
Yeah. Well, yeah. To be honest with you,
I'll speak in defense of that because it's great because we experience it in real time now. So what you're getting on the recording is, what do you mean Awesome is gone? You know, like, and I'm figuring it out as Shikamaru's figuring it out. Like, he's not dead, right?
What
like,
that
no, they're
means.
gonna bring him back. Like, somebody's gonna come to the last second and save him.
and you're like, no.
We're gonna get out of this problem, and then you're like, what's happening?
Now it's all in
So I
Shikamaru's
think
head.
in the performance of it, we're feeling it as it's happening, and I kind of think that's kind of a cool idea. Like, we get no warning, and you just drop bombs on us.
Were you shocked too?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I was shocked. Well, you know.
Robbie's like, what? What are we talking about?
My day ends.
Who died?
I come into the session, and Mary Elizabeth looks at me and she says, "It's going to be tough today." And then it's like, well, because I have to cry for 15 minutes, you know, and it's like, oh boy, where's this going to come from? But as you're working through it, you're like, figuring it out, what's happening, what's going on. You just allow that to take you right through it, and I thought it was a beautiful thing, and I think that what you're getting on that recording is in real time us experiencing what's happening. And Robbie came in on that scene too.
I just want to say, who knew that this little anime show from Japan was so much like The Walking Dead?
Actually, now that you say that, I never made that connection until.
Yeah, it's like, here's a beloved character. Boom! Later.
Hey, you guys like Asuma, right? Wouldn't that be a shame if something happened to him?
What a bummer. Oh, what a shame.
Well, the thing that pissed me off, I'm sorry, can I say
Yeah, you
that?
can.
Was that during the fight, so I never got to see it when we were recording it. You only see the lines that you record.
Right.
So it took me like many years to actually see the full scene play out. And I'm like, I cut that dude's head off. I cut that dude's head off. Oh yeah, but he's immortal. What? That's cheating, right? And then they bring me back with some zombie jutsu, which is like, come on, that's, for like one thing.
I mean,
spoiler alert, I cut his head off too.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
but see that could be your comfort. He's still in the ground somewhere, still cursing your name and your name. He's like, I'm gonna get out. I always imagine him trying to eat his way out of the rocks. I always thought that was how he got. I mean, he's got the time.
He's here. Hedon is here. He's down. Like, I've never met him actually, but Doug and I might want to stay away from him.
I don't know if you guys should meet. That might cause some bad
I wonder if
energy.
he's wearing a Katsuki gear.
Okay.
I wonder.
I threw it on. I knew it was a mistake, but I also said it'd be hilarious.
But this is full disclosure. Full disclosure. So when that scene happened, that we're talking about, I wasn't familiar with what the Akatsuki were to become.
Yeah.
So I didn't really.
It was early on.
I didn't make any connection to the red cloud. So cut to a convention a year ago, and they're giving us catalogs of stuff we can choose, like an item from the thing, and I'm like, oh, that pattern's really cool. And then somebody's like, no, you don't want that. I'm like, why? No, that's really cool. No, Doug, that's not for you. I'm like, what do you mean it's not for me? They killed you. Oh! I don't want that.
It's like, them specifically, they killed
Right,
you.
those guys, the Red Cloud guys, yeah.
So,
And they're more popular than we are. Can we just?
Yeah, I know. Sasuke, jerk. Well, here's a fun fact.
that
I
took
don't
me
know
off guard. I'm sorry.
if they are kind of them. My son made that comment too. He's like, why are all the bad guys the cooler ones? I'm like, yeah.
Bad
I
guys
know.
are always the
The
cooler
cooler ones. Yep.
It's the villain is the most delicious dish to eat.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
To be
Come on,
fair,
Anthony Hopkins feeding Ray Liotta's brain.
okay, that's actually a really great scene. I'm not gonna lie.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry, we ruined that one
And
too.
That's not a Naruto episode either. Anthony Hopkins
This is like a
guest.
Gallagher concert. You're getting all the.
It's in part 2 of Boruto, though. No, I'm kidding.
Wait till you find out who Luke's father is.
What?
Who's Luke's father?
Boba Fett, right?
That's what
right?
I thought. That's what all the clues are pointing to clearly, right? If it's anyone else, it doesn't make any sense. It kills the franchise. No, I'm kidding. So, you guys mentioned the conventions now that you're going to do them. How great has it been to see when, like you said, like you walk in, you're thinking, nobody probably watched or even know who my character is. But then you see people like dressing as your character, saying what that character meant to you, and just wanting to just meet you, shake your hand. How does all that feel for all three of you to know that? To know that the fans love to connect with their characters that much.
So my first convention was Anime NYC 2020, was it?
It was during the pandemic.
Right.
Because there was an outbreak at the convention.
That's right. I remember reading about that.
Yeah, Omicron. Yeah, we had Omicron.
Doug
Yeah,
specifically
we started
was
Omicron.
patient
You're
zero.
welcome. No, so we were all in our booths, and they were trying to be really precautionary, and everybody had like walls between them. All the booths are like out here, but they had big walls between them. And so when they opened up the doors the first morning, it was like hearing horses galloping across the
Wow.
because it was just this thunderous noise of people running in. And this woman comes flying up to me with tears in her eyes, and she's like, "Oh my God, I've been dying to meet you." She's like, "You are my dad." And I'm like, and she's like, "You got me through some really hard times when my dad passed away." And the relationship that Asuma had with Shikamaru was one of the things that was able to calm her and make her feel safe.
That is amazing.
And to hear that, again, coming from a place where not even knowing that anybody saw these things, to somebody basing that part of their lives, their survival mechanism was to jump into this entertainment to get them off of it. And that's profound. And to know that anime can touch people so deeply that's why, I didn't realize that that's what we were a part of until now. And again, thank you guys. Thank you guys for actually being into these stories. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for being patient with us.
Finding it in the beginning.
Yeah. Because, there's the OGs out there that started way back in the day when none of this was cool. And now I'm sure it's a little bittersweet now that it's mainstream and you're like, I was into this when it started.
I've said that sentence so many times.
Right. And so I get that, and
Anybody
I feel
who's
that.
into music knows what this is about.
Right,
Yeah, that's
right.
true.
You
I
find
was
a
into
band you
Nirvana
love, and then it's
before.
like, I was into U2 before they sold out.
Right. So thank you to all the OG fans, and thank you to all the new ones too, because anime is outside people's comfort zone until they watch it. And knowing that there is an anime for literally everybody out there is what's so charming about it.
One of the things that I find interesting about this anime world is, from a person who consumes the stuff, that there are people out there who, and I guess I do it. I'm Michelle Rodriguez in Avatar. I'm the helicopter pilot. I remember watching that movie going, oh yeah, I totally do
I
it.
totally felt that one.
In Star Wars, I'm Chewbacca. I remember watching it going, oh, you mean the guy who goes, I don't think this is a good idea? I know that guy. So in anime world, these characters for people, they can see themselves or people they know in it and attach a part of themselves to it, and it helps people. I've noticed I've been doing these things now like 10 years or whatever, and I've noticed how much this kind of entertainment helps people transform sometimes from the person that they were into the person that they wanted to be. And and if that works for you, keep doing it. First off, and like you said, I find it profound that and it's something that I was involved with. How is that possible?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that honestly, if I can take a second to just to praise what you guys did with Naruto, that's something, because you hear the normal criticisms about like Naruto's loud, this, blah blah blah. Well, yeah, if you only watch a few episodes, then that's all you're gonna get. But if you watch the whole series, you get stories like how the teams connect and how they become a family. Even though Shikamaru had a dad, he had a secular Asuma. And I remember and I wanted to bring this up, when you had that crying scene.
There's like 5 of them.
But I felt
that was one of them.
When you had to talk, Shikamaru had to talk with his dad. I felt that, because having lost people in my life, and my dad he's always been there for me whenever something that happens. Not like maybe it's not the exact talk, but I know with my dad, if I was like that, he would sit me down and say, "Hey, look, you got to get it out. You got to deal with it." And he would probably say something similar to that. So yeah, you guys really gave voice to characters that everyone could connect to in some way, shape, or form.
I think the beauty of the show itself, the writing, the storytelling, but the character development. Everybody knows a Choji. Everybody knows a Shikamaru, the smart kid that's in the back of the room, never had to study but gets an A on every test. Everybody knows a Hinata, who's the shy girl. Everybody knows, you know what I mean? Like all these sort of archetypes.
Nobody knows an Asuma.
I don't know an Asuma, so I know you, Doug, and you're an Asuma. So like when you look at all the kids in the show, a Rock Lee, that obnoxious guy that just won't shut up, or Naruto for that matter. It's like we went to high school with them. We went to junior high with these guys. We can identify with the people that kind of, the ones that we respond to. Like in real life, I always say, yeah, I play Shikamaru, but I'm a Choji in real life. The happy-go-lucky, just everybody's best friend, the guy everybody loves, And so it's great. I think the writing does that so that we feel like there's people we can identify with.
At the risk of starting an outright Naruto flame war.
Please do.
I'm ready.
So, you say Shikamaru. Now, the original, the guy who created Choji, whenever I hear him say it, he would say Shikamaru. Okay, good. So it isn't.
Well, here's the deal.
In the English, that's what I went for.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you there are people that probably watch this thing and go, "He's an idiot." And so you wouldn't be wrong.
When I got cast, I said, "Thank God I'm Shikamaru," however I'm saying it. People give me crap about it online all the time. The one name I don't say in the entire show is Shikamaru. I say Choji, I say Asuma, I say Naruto, and if you listen to like Yuri, he says Naruto. He makes it sound very Japanese, which is great. But when I first got cast, I was like, thank God I'm playing this character because I don't have to say his name. And I remember Miley, who plays Naruto, because we're friends in real life and we've known each other for years, and she'd go, "Oh, I'm so mad at you." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "I have to say your name like 5 times, and then the producers can't make up their mind as to what it should be." And I was just like, so she had to go back.
It's a thing.
It is a thing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Everybody in those early days, Robbie, hated to have to say Shikamaru. And then they settled on, and I think I'm saying it the way we settled on it, Shikamaru. Because they also like Shikamaru,
there's that, but
But,
I called you Shikamaru.
And a lot of it, they have to, in the early days anyway, we'd always go in to have to redo Japanese pronunciations, because whoever was, the director would get a note saying, it's pronounced this, and then we'd all do that. And then they'd send it up to Viz, and Viz would send it to Japan, and then they'd go, "That's not right," and then they'd send it back with notes, and we must have changed. Like Naruto had been changed.
Yeah.
Because some people say Naruto.
Yeah.
Some people say, you know, and like I said, Yuri, Naruto, he will not say it the way the rest of us say it. But it's great because that's his little Sasuke thing, and it's very Sasuke of
And
him.
also,
to
when
do that.
people mispronounce it, it gives me an opportunity to, you know, sort of put on my holier than thou. You know, I'm like, it's Naruto.
The funniest thing is people will come up and they go, I watched Naruto. It's a great show. I go, who's your favorite character? And they go, oh, Naruto.
Well, they go to you and say that.
Naruto in the Naruto show. You know? But it is, you know, I guess it's a way to define the show from the person or the character. I don't know. It's very funny. It's very
Well,
funny. We've heard it all. But we love it. We're, you know, it's fun.
Well, I hate to say this, but unfortunately we're out of time. And that saddens me because this has been a ton of fun. But again, on behalf of all the Naruto fans, thank you all for the characters, for bringing them to life in
Thank
English.
you, guys.
And we really
Thank you, guys.
There's no us.
So guys, give them a big round of applause. Come on, guys.
What a drag. Oh, man. That's the best you can do.
Hey, hold on, you guys. Can you all stand up? I want to get a picture of all of us.
Yeah. Wow. I don't think I believe you. Are you guys ready for Team Guy from Naruto? That's much better. So, I got their names right back there. Watch me mess it up here. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Brian Donovan, Skip Stellrecht, Steve Staley, and Danielle Judovits. Make some noise for them, guys. Come on, make some noise. Yeah, yeah.
Hello, hello.
Keep it going, yeah.
Yakugan. Now, one more. Hey, Leaf Hurricane. How is everyone? Good, good? Well, let's try that again. Hey, how is everyone? Oh, yeah, switching out. All right, switching out.
Moving on now. So first of all, thank you all for being here. It is an honor to meet all of you. It's a huge honor for me, huge Naruto fan, or a Bebop fan, like I said. And so to get to sit and talk with all of you, it's a thrill for me. So just thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks
Yes,
for having
thank
us.
you.
How are y'all doing in Houston so far?
Love it.
Love it.
Love
First
it.
time.
It's my
First time?
favorite. I don't know. I got in so late last night, I haven't seen anything, unfortunately.
That's fair.
Although when I looked out my window, there's Christmas lights, so that always makes you feel better, right?
Absolutely. So nearly 20 years of Naruto. How does that feel for all of you? Like after all this time, and it's still so beloved. Clearly, how does it feel to just see it still going strong?
It's weird because I'm only 21, so like I don't know how that works. No, it's amazing. It's like
That's how old you were.
no, I was younger. I was like 18, 17, 18. I was a teenager.
Really?
I started, yeah.
You were
Oh,
the
wow.
youngest one,
I think I was
right?
the youngest one.
She was the youngest one.
Oh wow, I honestly didn't know that. Okay.
So it was weird when I was flirting with 1010. I was like, I felt really creepy.
Because she was 10.
Because I was never that young.
10, yeah.
Yeah, she was 10. Yeah, no, you know, I think the thing that's crazy is when you look in the mirror 20 years later, you're like, this is not who started the show. I didn't have any gray hair. My hair was not receding. No, I mean, it's amazing. It's such a gift as an actor, as a performer, to be a part of something that's so special, that's becomes a legacy. And I think we would all admit when we started the show, anything you do, you don't know the life of it, right? And often it's canceled. Like the fact that this is still celebrated by, you know, you guys, and it's amazing. It's a real gift.
It's still one of the big three of some generations. That's how big it got.
Yeah, the big three.
What are the other two? I've never heard of them.
I think I know Bleach, and well, I keep wanting to say One Piece, but since One Piece is still technically going, I don't know if that counts anymore.
So was Bleach.
Yeah, and Bleach. Yeah, no, yeah, that's true.
Oh, still
But
going.
in Bleach's defense, they have to stop for 10 years, then start again. So that's why I give it a
You're right.
break.
Well, I think, you know, Dragon Ball's on there. I mean, you know, there's
Yeah.
Pokemon. I mean, there's certainly 5 or 10 that most people would spit out pretty easily. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, to be one of those is
Yeah.
incredible.
I will say, I remember reading something one time that things like Dragon Ball and Pokemon are what got people into anime, and I remember it saying like Naruto and Bleach were things like that showed anime had staying power.
Yeah.
And I agree with that because as a huge anime fan, it was when I was growing up, it was very niche. You can only find it.
Oh my God.
If it wasn't on Toonami, it was certain like I
You had
watched.
to buy DVDs.
I'm sorry I'm taking away real quick,
VHS.
but a friend of mine would get VHSs. He would make copies of the VHSs for me and give them to me. because
Wow.
because like his dad would like order stuff from Japan and other places to get stuff for me, and that's how I saw like a lot of the older
Yeah, you
ones.
didn't just turn TV on and it
No,
was there.
yeah. So, and still keeping in with this theme, how does it feel to see the passion for it still going strong? Like, you know, you have this convention here, you go to other conventions. How does it feel to see some of the passionate fans? They dress up like your characters. We have some of the rest. We have Rock Lee. That's
He'll be
hybrid
wrestling. He'll
wait
be
a minute.
wrestling at 3:15.
That's hybrid wrestler Brandon Weiss, I believe, dressed as Rock
That's
Lee.
right. Very famous wrestler.
Yeah.
As me, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
We're gonna go up there actually. I think Skip and I are gonna go on the boxing ring, and 3:15. So.
Well, that's what I'm doing at that time. Anyway.
Because you know,
I can't
I don't
wait.
wanna. I try to be modest about this, but every once in a while I gotta show it off.
Oh, that's
That's right.
keep my sleeves down. But yeah, but to see that kind of with the passion of the fans, how does that feel for all of you to still see people dressing as your characters? And they put so much effort into it, like you see.
I mean, it's super cool for me. Like I have a 6-year-old now, and like when he does like the Halloween parades at school, and I see so many kids dressed up in the Naruto character, and I'm just mom. And
Darren Norris just passed.
oh hey, no, it's so cool. It's amazing. It's like you said, like actors, we don't get this opportunity. It's like a once in a lifetime thing. So
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Yeah, and thanks to streaming, right? I mean, it's had a life, and then just I would imagine as that life was kind of waning, streaming came along, and you could suddenly watch your shows without putting the effort into getting your DVD, and so that's why a lot of the people we meet are folks who watched this when they were a kid, but then I'm meeting their 10-year-old who they got into Naruto, and it starts all over again.
I keep forgetting that I have nieces and nephews who are very jealous of me right now, and I can't wait to throw all this in their faces.
Next generation Naruto fans.
Yeah. And those same nieces and nephews are all with partners or getting married, and it's like, oh, this is that age. That's what my parents were warning me about was coming. But yeah. So with Team Guy especially, because Naruto I feel like has characters for everybody. Like no matter what walk of life you're from, there's a character you can relate to. How did you feel? Did you make any special connections with your characters? Like, was there any like line like you connected with them, and then you like maybe a scene you had to do that just really like got you?
Well, before we answer, I think it should be pointed out that this is the first time that we've all been together. Like the first
Really?
time Team Guy has been together.
Come on, make some noise for that, guys. Come on, come
First
on.
Comic-Con. I know, right? It's amazing. It's the first one since the spin-off.
Rock Lee and his Ninja Pals,
Rock
anyone?
Lee and his Ninja Pals. Who doesn't love Rock Lee and his Ninja Pals? Yeah, but I mean, it's the first time we've all been together, which is kind of incredible, ever. And this is the first time you and I have actually ever like seen each other in the flesh. So it's kind of cool. We did make a baby together, but we don't talk about that. And it's not official, so you didn't hear it from me. Yeah, no, again. But yeah, kind of incredible. So it's our first time together. To answer your question, I think, Skip and I talk about this a lot, actually. We very fortunately look at life with the cup half full. We're very optimistic people. And I think one of the things I love about Rock Lee so much is that he's so optimistic, that he tries so hard, even, amongst the conflict and, the obstacles in life, which we all have. And so it's a nice reminder. It's like, we all have to get out of bed. We all have to put on our boots. And, for me, those are the heroes. We're all heroes in some way. If you just keep putting your shoes on and keep walking the path, even when you trip, even when you fall, even when you get hurt. And that's what I love about Rock Lee, and that's the way I try to live. And I know Skip and I talk about this a lot, but, yeah.
That's definitely, I would agree, Rock Lee is the definition of earnest.
Earnest.
Oh, for sure.
And unlike Rock Lee, I like Neji's cynicism. I mean, who else has a line like, the people share only one common fate, death. That's my kind of line. The difference between stupidity and genius is that genius has its limits. Come on, Neji. Love it.
See, lines like that I remember when I first watched it, I couldn't stand Neji for like the first
Yeah,
30
everyone
episodes.
says that.
Yeah.
Everyone says that.
He grew on me. near death whenever he was near death a few times, and then but he grew on me. But like, and was it hard to play a character that you knew would be that dastardly, at least initially?
No.
Okay.
I mean, that's the fun of it, right? You go into acting to do these fun things that you don't get to do in your normal, ordinary, mundane life. So to go in and have a bad attitude and to be mean to your cousin and to...
But Steve, so many people don't like you, so I don't know.
I know, so
I don't know what you're talking
typecasting,
about.
it just is fun to go in and be that person, right? That's the delicious, juicy nature of that. Same thing with playing a death scene. To get to go in and eat up a death scene 13 years after starting a job, big fun.
That's awesome.
Skip, you're very quiet today.
You are quiet, so I was gonna ask you.
I was going for a record, and I just beat my record. I was trying to see how long I could go before I said a word, and that did it.
Guy Sensei!
All right, Lee! No,
I love you, Guy Sensei!
I love you, Lee. No,
should we
they
tell the
ran out of
fans?
microphones, and it was probably the best thing for this panel that I didn't have one, because I'll go on and on. But I agree with everything these guys are saying, and whatever. Going back to your first question, did you have any? Well, I don't know where I'm at now. I was so excited that I didn't talk for 15 minutes.
Well, you know, since you didn't talk for 15 minutes, I have a question specifically for you.
Hey.
So, as I mentioned to you backstage, I'm a huge Calvillo fan. You played Vicious, and you played Mike Guy.
Yes. Do you wear boxers or briefs?
I go commando, my friend. Next question.
Okay. So first of all,
That'll shut him up.
So first of all, stop looking at my phone because you're just asking all my questions. God. Well, I gotta skip that one now.
Skip.
So how does it feel? How did it feel to know that you've had characters with that wide a range? Like Vicious barely said like more than probably 30 words in the entire Cowboy Bebop series. Mike Guy pretty much never shut up. Yeah. How did it feel to like do two different characters like that?
Well, as an actor, that's what you want to do, and I think as Steve was saying, as an actor, I've always, even on camera, I've enjoyed playing. You always enjoy playing the villain. Now in this particular case, Guy Sensei, I have more of Guy Sensei's personality in me than any other character. Although he was just so darn lovable and goofy and didn't care. And I love that attitude about it. It doesn't matter what other people thought of him. And that I think everybody should take as a mode of life. Don't worry about what other people think. Just live your life. And and that I find in anime especially, because as all of you know, and even more so when I was young, I wasn't into anime, but we made fun of the anime kids.
You would have made fun of me for sure.
Yes, and they didn't care. It was like, the world caught up to them of how cool anime was, because then it was nerdy, and then the world realized, wait a minute, this isn't nerdy, this is cool, and then the cool kids jumped on board, and so I just think there's a lesson there, and almost in everything that Guy Sensei says, there's a lesson to be learned, and that's one of the main ones. And I get that all the time from you guys, and it just absolutely fills my heart with joy when people come up and tell me that Guy Sensei got them through this moment or this moment in their life because he was so positive and so, just full of life and joy. And yet he could back it up when he needed to.
I was going to say he proved to be one of the most dangerous characters
That's right.
in the entire series.
That's right.
So,
but he didn't run around puffing his chest out.
No.
I
remember reading the manga before the anime. That's my job. I remember reading the manga for the anime, and when I saw Guy just wrecking Madara, I was like, I remember thinking immediately, oh, I can't wait to see this one animated. And then when it was animated, you brought it to life. I was like, yep, this is what I wanted. This is amazing. So, and you mentioned the fan interactions. For each of you, have you had, like doing conventions and everything? Have you had special moments with fans where they said to you what you bringing the character to life meant for them, or things that the character's done for them?
I'll say one thing, and then I'll give it to the rest of you guys for the rest of the time.
Yeah, man. See, you open them up, and it's like,
Yeah.
It's okay, Skip.
So if you don't mind, let me take it from here, guys. So anyway.
I'm fine.
I tell you something. I have one that I always share with people. I had a kid not a kid anymore, but he started out. And I met him in Texas, another part of Texas. And he started talking to me. And I said to him, he had this unbelievable story. And I said, you need to stop talking because I'm going to start crying. And I don't want to end up on TikTok crying. And because I know that's what's going to happen. But his story was so moving to me. And I get those over and over and over again. And it really, we didn't think about that when we were recording, how we affected lives, ever. I got another gig at 4. I got to get going, guys, you know. Now, I will tell you, some of the scenes with Lee, I was moved, you know. There were times where it was like those were genuine. Because, you know, after so many years, you have this relationship and it's easy to get there, you know. Then when I met Brian, I realized, oh boy, this guy. But anyway, yeah, those stories, the stories that I hear are just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Sorry, Steve.
I really would just agree with that. You know, when we were recording, what you said, I was like, oh, this has got to be over by 2:30 because I've got to get to Todd AO for 4 o'clock with Cam, and I can't be late. Our day-to-day life had nothing to do with the through line of Naruto, and then coming to cons and meeting people who you realize then the show we worked for 13 years on, they watched for 13 years. And it involved every aspect of their life, coming home from school, coming home from work, staying up late for those of you who were OGs who had to watch on Toonami at midnight, who snuck out of bed. All of these stories you hear and you realize, oh, that was what our work begat, and that we were part of that. And I wouldn't know any of that if it weren't for the conventions and coming here and meeting people and hearing about someone's entire childhood and early adulthood that involved coming home to watch this show that we were in.
Well, like they said before, this is literally my very first convention that I've ever done. So, the few people that I have met so far have been so nice and helpful in like telling me how things work, because like I literally don't know anything. So I'm just meeting you guys now for the first time today. So I'm sure I'll have some cool stories, but today is day numero uno, you guys. Literally, so.
Okay, we'll ask you again on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, come back on Sunday.
You know, one of the things that has been so remarkable and beautiful about this whole experience, I started right after the pandemic and the world shutting down, and I guess what I didn't realize is how incredibly inclusive Comic-Cons are. And my other life is a disability advocate. My sister was born with Down syndrome. My father was deaf. My best friend had kyphosis. So I was around that world my whole life, and I saw the struggles of people with disabilities. And my mission in life was always to make sure that my dad, my sister, my best friend were included in the world. And what I found so remarkably is Comic-Cons, it's built into the DNA of Comic-Cons, how inclusive this world is. And I find that so stunning and beautiful. And so for me, coming to Comic-Cons and meeting, Comic-Con attendees, you guys make the world a better place. You just do. It's there's just something so beautiful about, and maybe it's because, as you guys alluded to, anime and was fringe and the marginalized viewer or whatever, and now all of a sudden we're the hipsters and the cool, and it's kind of awesome. And I really do believe, and I've said this before, if the world was more like a Comic-Con, it'd be a much better world. But so thank you. I mean, I have a ton of stories too, very specific things, but in general, that would be my umbrella answer. Is just, you guys are incredible. You're incredible people, and you're always very gracious and appreciative, and I'm very grateful for this experience. So thank you.
Hey, y'all didn't clap for that. Go ahead. Yeah, make some noise, guys.
Thank you for being here.
Well, I can also say, as a fan, we thank you guys for the characters that you brought to life. I'll say this again for sure, but like, I know that with even, like you said, with T Guy, it seemed like they were almost the, I'll say it, almost like they were the throwaway characters the throwaway characters. Until, here's where I knew they weren't. Lee's first fight with Sasuke, I was like, oh, no, he's serious. Because until then, it was like when Sasuke fought, it was like, you know, he would lose, but it'd be someone much stronger. And I didn't realize Lee was someone much stronger until he beat him.
You can say it. I kicked his ass. Yeah.
Okay, you kicked his ass. It's just a fact. So, but could you even, for any of you, did you even predict, like, could you, like, even when doing the characters, I'm sure you had some connection with it, could you even fathom they'd be loved like they were?
No, absolutely not. Like they said, like we as actors, we go on hundreds and hundreds of auditions a year.
Right.
You never know like what's gonna hit, what's not. I think I even auditioned for this over the phone, which like what? That's not a thing anymore, by the way. But it was such like a throwaway nothing. No, you show up to work, you read your lines, and you go home, and you don't know if it's gonna be a thing or it's gonna be like this, which is an amazing thing. So no, we never know. So it's super cool.
Or you go to every shopping mall in America and you pass by and you can see the orange Naruto whatever as you pass by Spencer Gibbs, Hot Topic, and you can tell it's Naruto because of the orange, and you're like, there's still merchandise in 5 different stores in any given mall.
I'll tell you a funny story. We were in a collectibles, right? And I was with I have 2 boys who are 10 and 12 now, but it was like 3 years ago, and we were with my mom, grandma, and we went into collectibles, and one of my sons goes, oh, that's Daddy's show, that's Naruto. And my mom's like, oh, and she doesn't know, she's gonna be 88, right? So keep that in mind. She was 84 or 5 at the time. And she's like, oh. And she's looking around and she goes, well, where's your character? And I was like, I don't see Rock Lee. I don't think they have any Rock Lee. And she was incensed. She's like, why don't they have any of your character? And she went up to the salesperson and she's like, where is Rock Lee? Where? And the poor salesman was like, I don't know, maybe we have some in stock. And I was like, that's my son. I was like, oh my God. Anyway, it's really cute. My mom fought for me.
You say embarrassing, I say best story ever. So.
Now he drives really around to stores with his mom and sends her in the store. Mom, ask him where the Rock Lee's are.
Guys, shout out to Mom.
Hi, Mom. It's so wonderful you're joining us today.
Hey, what's up, Mom?
That's awesome. So, and actually you alluded to, because we're almost out of time, but I did want to ask that one last question. When did you see that this was a hit? When did it strike you that this show, like, not only was a hit, but it had the staying power of, like, Dragon Ball Z and the others?
Pretty soon, right? We started doing Naruto, but then we were all used to doing some form of dubbing, but we would never hear of anything about it. But pretty soon after Naruto, I remember seeing the manga at Barnes & Noble, actually. I would see the manga at Barnes & Noble, and I'd be like, oh, I'm on that show. And then little by little, merch started appearing, and I was like, I guess this show is bigger than I realized.
And then Steve heard my mom shouting from across Barnes & Noble.
Heard this lady yelling,
where is my son? She doesn't talk like that. She's awesome. She's my hero.
I wish she was here to see my friend dressed as Rock Lee. That would have been amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, there are actually. So unfortunately, we're almost out of time, and that saddens me because this has been a fantastic time of mine. Because like you, I remember always looking for manga, and again, at the special order somewhere, and like I remember Naruto being one of the first ones I saw. And I liked it when I saw it. I didn't, even as an anime fan, I was like, I had no idea it'd be this big, but it was. So I think all of us can say confidently that we thank you guys for bringing these characters to life, because we could connect to, to Lee, to Tintin, even Neji in his jerk days, because we all have jerk days. And then we have our redemption story. And I think my dad is a bit of a mic guy, except he's not as active, but he is as loud. I can say that because he's not here and he can't catch me. He has a bad hip, he can't catch me anymore. So, but from all of us to you guys, we just want to say thank you. Just thank you so much for being the characters that we love. And the only reason I'm cutting it short is because we are pressed for time. Otherwise, I would go another 20 minutes. But we thank you guys so much, and we really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, and please, hope you guys continue to enjoy them. Visit their tables, buy their merch. Get pictures with them? I know I'm going to. So, but thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Guys, make some noise for Team Guy. Make some noise, guys.
Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for watching the show. Thank you. Yeah, really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Byakugan.